Hello everyone. So I made a video about this and I included it in my live stream. A coin wrote Great Britain, 1923, sixpence. Pence ain't spelled right, but that's not a big deal. $1. So I flip it over and I'm looking at it and I notice right off the date is a 22. Paid little attention to the rest of the back here, but when I look at it, this is clearly Australian. Emu and kangaroo on the back. And doesn't say Australian on the front anywhere or on the back, but Australia uses this kind of design on a lot of their coins. You'll see the emu and the kangaroo on the back of it. So Addicted to Minis pointed that out to me, which makes this coin, not only is it a 22, it's sterling silver. So I give a shout out to Addicted to Minis. He's got good eyes for this stuff. And sometimes when I'm buying these foreign coins, I just look at the price and, hey, I'll go ahead and buy it. At $1, I mean, even if this was a British sixpence, I probably would have still bought it. Well, that's what I bought it thinking it was. But when it's sterling silver, it's a lot more silver content than what this says. Now, earlier today, I noticed Jaden Noble did a video about he found this particular coin listed on eBay as a Carson City seated Liberty dollar for sale. And the bid had already reached like $52 on the video he was showing. I think it's an auction. But anyway, the Carson City Mint didn't open until 1870 for striking these coins. So obviously this can't be real just by the date and the fact it says Carson City. Not only that, the weight of this coin is quite a bit under what a actual silver dollar would weigh, especially one that when you look at the back here, it's a little flat, but it has most of the details on it. Now the front has a very flattened spot on it, which would be like somebody did carried it and ground in against other coins in their pocket or something to wear off that part somehow. But if it was that worn there, all the rest of the front of this design would be pretty flat too on a real coin. So, but since he's said he's subscribed, I'm going to show him a few other examples real quick of coins that aren't real. 1879 Morgan, Philadelphia. The design isn't super far off on this. It's not as bad as, where'd it go, as this in terms of having the real flat part. This is more like looking like a Morgan dollar, although the surface of it is not quite what you'd expect. Now, it too weighs around 21, 22 grams, so it's not silver. In 1879 Philadelphia, it's not a particularly rare coin. This, though, 1895, your Morgans, they didn't make hardly any in 1895 to speak of, not compared to a lot of years. This is a San Francisco mint one. Be a fairly valuable coin, and this kind of detail on it would probably put it around fine, extra fine range, maybe, which would make it a pretty valuable coin. And then they faked this one, 1906. Philippines coin. Details are kind of weird and it's wrong. I mean, this eagle and shield kind of look like it does. This side looks weird. It's not quite right. I don't think this is quite right either, but the eagle and shield isn't that far off. 1893. Your Morgans, 1893 is also a very low mint year, and this is the S mint, which is the king of the Morgans in terms of value at mint state. This goes way up because it only made 100,000 originally, and maybe half of them are still around, if that much. But this particular coin, this would probably be around fine to extra fine range, but it's not real. And then this has reading on the side of it, which this actual coin does not have reading on it. It says Independency Libertad around the edge. So even if you thought it looked right, which it doesn't, when you look at this rim, you know it's not real. And sort of to prove that further along the lines that they'll fake almost anything, this coin, there's two examples. They're the 47 Cinco pesos. It's supposed to be 30 grams silver. These don't weigh 30 grams. They're not quite big enough on the diameter of the rim. In fact, they only weigh about 22 grams. But they do, all this is comical, 64 Kennedy, but this kind of look on it is so far off. I don't think anybody would be fooled by this and thinking this was real, because this is so far off of how any Kennedy half dollar looks, even worn out quite a bit. Don't look nothing like that. Now, this one though, it's a barber half. Well, not really, but 1909 Orleans. This kind of detail would make this a very valuable coin because it's got the full Liberty on it and most of the designs. So I'd say this one extra fine to AU range, and on these, hundreds of dollars. But this is a fake, and it's a barber half. Who'd think would waste time doing that for them Mexican coins? Then this one, 1918 Walking Liberty, Philadelphia, fake. But this one's not very far away from how a Walking Liberty actually looks, other than the way the surface of the coin looks. So design-wise, this might fool someone. And if you have a bag of a bunch of walkers, a bunch of loose ones, and this is slipped into it, somebody might buy it without realizing they got a fake one in it. Now let's talk about some of the coins I found today that I ain't seen before. Now, some of these are all foreign coins, by the way. That's neat. That's not a coin, though. All right. Lay this down here. All right, this thing. This is a train token, I think. Good for one fare. You buy this and then you go on it's like a trolley train, I think. A lot of cities had them back in the day. This doesn't have a date on it, but I'm kind of figuring this is probably somewhere around 1900 to maybe the 20s. It's Indianapolis, capital city of Indiana. It's in pretty good shape for something that's just made to be used over and over again. this Hong Kong dollar. I don't know if I have one of these. The guy I bought this from said he stayed in Hong Kong for about 2 or 3 years when he was a pilot. He's retired now, but from piloting anyway. But that's kind of neat. I don't think I've seen that one before. And then this, addicted to minis probably like this one. It's a 5 wrapping, looking extra fine AU range probably, barely worn. It's probably copper nickel or something, but not very valuable. But I've never seen that particular one before. This one though, I've seen these 20-cent Hong Kong coins. This is a pretty good example of one in terms of not being too worn. All right. King George the Younger, Elizabeth's father. And this is a penny from Britain, 1938. Kind of neat. Again, none of these are real valuable, but I do like interesting coins. Now this is Mexican. It's Cinco Centavos, 1945. Bronze or copper. Eagle eating a snake on the back. Neat. Now this one's an older British one. King Edward VII. It's a Britannia on the back penny, 1905. That's kind of neat too. That's the ones that were in cards or holders. Now, older, this 5 francs would have been silver. This is too new to be silver. I do like the design on these French coins. I have 2 of them in here. I've seen a few of these. This one's a 72 and this one's 1970. Now, this one I've seen before too, but this has got some weird damage on it. I'm not sure what they did. I guess they took a Dremel tool or something and started chiseling at it, or who knows. This is how you know your currency's in trouble, though. This is a 1,000 peso coin. They start making coins that high denomination, a demonetization's coming where they change the value. Now this is 20 and it's got a dollar symbol. This particular coin, Mexican, 1982. I've never seen this one before. I kind of like it, but I've never seen it before. This one's another example of a Mexican going wild, or Mexican coins going wild. $500. It's an 88. Oh, 500 pesos, I'm sorry. Now, this one, I do not believe I've seen this before. Costa Rica, 1983. Kind of a neat design, and right in the middle of this is a small sailing ship in a bay or something. Harbor, one of the two. Mountains in the background. I quite like this, although these aren't worth much. We're almost through this. This looks pretty close to being uncirculated. It's Mexican coin. Kind of neat. Not a whole lot more left to look at. This Mexican coin, I may have a few of these. This one's not worn very much, but it's a bit dirty. Then I picked up this one, 64 cinco centavos, 5 centavos. I think this one's like uncirculated. It's pretty nice. I thought I had another one. Oh, I do. So able to get two of them. It also looks uncirculated. Okay, we're getting down towards the end here. These Colombian coin from 1974, 1 peso. I don't know if I've seen this particular coin before. And then the last two coins. This thing is probably a U at worst. Elephant on it. It's 5 shillings. Republic of Somalia. 2002. I kind of like elephants on coins. Now, where's that last thing? Oh, and the last coin I have in this bunch is one of these Portuguese coins, which I have several of. But when I was looking, it came right up $5.00. Escudos is what it really is. But the Portuguese man of war ship, which this depicts, is a pretty interesting ship. And back in sailing days was not something that you took lightly. These things had a 55 cannon broadside, 3 gun decks. They meant business. But anyway, to sum it all up tonight, sometimes your coin dealer will write out what these things are. In Great Britain, that's $1. 1923. Well, this is Australian coin, and it's 1922. And it's sterling silver, not 50%. So if $1 was an okay price for it, if it was the sixpence Great Britain coin, 50% silver, then $1 for the sterling Australian one's even better, because sterling is 92.5% silver. So that's neat. But yeah, sometimes these coins get mislabeled, because you can write anything on this card you want. Don't mean you're right. So thanks to Addicted to Minis and Loving It for noticing that. Then one more shout out for Jaden Noble. He made a video about finding one of these listed on eBay. This thing's fake, 1847, and says Carson City. And well, Carson City did not open their mint until much later. So right off, this coin doesn't even exist in the real world. Now, seated Liberty dollars from 1847 exist, but they're not Carson City ones. So if you see a coin with a date on it that looks somewhat like a real coin, but you look and you see a mint mark on something like this and they never made it, it'd almost be like making one of these with an 1870 date on it or something and throwing a big D here on the back for Denver. Denver didn't open until like I think it was 1905. They first struck coins. That's why none of your old Morgan dollars are Denver. The only Denver when you get the 1921 Morgan dollar or the new commemoratives. About the new commemoratives, the 2021 Denver, a lot of them were scratched up straight from the mint. So if you want to buy a Denver one, look at the coin closely before you buy it, because you don't want to buy one of those if it's damaged. Really, you want a perfect coin because it should be perfect. But anyway, I hope everyone has a good night. I don't want to stay on too much longer, but I did want to cover some of the today's happenings. Give a shout out to a new channel I just ran into, and thank Addicted to Minis for his sharp eyes on noticing something I didn't even notice when I first looked at this Australian. I noticed the date was wrong, but not the fact that this is Australian coin. Anyway, I hope everyone has a good night. I'm going to get on out of here. We will see you next time. Have a good night, everyone. That's all I got.